good afternoon, or good evening if you happen to be in Europe. Welcome to Qualifier number 12 out of the 18 for Link to the Past Randomizer main tournament. We are just wrapping up the second week of qualifiers. We've got 6 more after this, and boy, do we have a treat for you today. You may recognize these names, Buane and Schulzer, going to face off here today as part of our restream featured runners out of the 88 total. So Buane pretty good. Schulzer's also pretty good. This I would expect to be an extremely exciting and entertaining match. I am Claire Mouse, joined here today by Alex. Alex, how are you doing? Are you excited for this?
I'm excited, but I haven't heard about Buane or Schulzer before,
Oh,
so
okay.
they're new runners for me, I think.
Oh, you know what? That's an excellent point. So maybe we can go back a little bit of history. For those of you who may not have heard of Boink, he does have a pretty impressive NMG time. Something around like the 123 mark. Certainly, a handful of runners only have that. He's probably won a couple like rando tournaments here and there. Schulzer, of course, very familiar household name. Pretty much any tournament that has gone on in the last probably a couple years, Schulzer has participated and has finished quite high. So it is this I definitely expect to be a very high and close. And look at this sync coming right out of Sanctuary, grabbing that small key.
No, I think both our runners are pretty hyped about this one. So I know this Schulzer's last qualifier, and well, he can do more if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. And this is Buane's second one.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. So this is as of Thursday. It's qualified number 12. Runners, of course, have the option of joining as many as they want. Of course, a minimum of 5 will be required in this case to advance, or at least to be able to participate in groups. And this is, of course, Schulzer's 5th one. You get to drop your highest and lowest, and judging by Schulzer's previous performances in the previous qualifiers, this one is basically, let's say, free for him. Because he's got 3 finishes in the 90s, 1 finishes 87. So if you can draw the last one, right? This is basically This is gonna let him route as creatively or as cavalier as he wants.
And that's the fun part with qualifiers, because you don't know how to route, because you don't know how your opponent is routing. So that's the fun part, and we have a hammer at Link's house.
Oh, well,
so
okay.
That's a good starting point.
Yeah. All right. Well, so with that hammer that Schulzer just picked up, it looks like he is actually going to go straight to the castle after kind of exploring some of the earlier stuff that Buane has done. And of course, hammer is a really nice permanent weapon, going to basically get him through the entirety of the escape sequence. And we already do have the small key, so depending on how confident Schulzer is in his dark rooms, potentially without that lamp and just with the hammer, he could also go visit Dark Cross and all the way to the back.
I think Schulzer's really good at this game. Oh, well, okay, we've got a lamp and Uncle, so we're definitely doing the escape, Dark Cross as well, so good start to the scene.
Oh, well, that's super convenient. Good thing you pointed out the lamp. I see it very clearly now on our trackers. Thank you so much, Sammy Mas, for tracking today. Keeping, of course, at least me honest. Alex looks like he's doing just fine.
I tried to do my best.
No, we got an excellent crew here today to bring us this restream. Yeah, it looks like Buane, just kind of following along a little bit afterwards from Schulzer. Gonna be a little bit behind him getting through escape, but yeah, permanent weapon. We've got 3 checks potentially here in the front, Dark Cross, and then probably all the way to the back. Provided, of course, we can hopefully find a bomb or something. I mean, this is almost like the main tournament from last year. We do the standard start, but you have what a hammer potentially, but now you're just really hoping you could find some bombs, so you don't have to necessarily abandon the pack of escape.
Yeah, I think like you're saying, hopefully get well, maybe don't need bombs, maybe get boots.
Oh, you're thinking like someone who has potentially played some qualifier seeds of this tournament in the last week or so, because those boots have been extremely highly coveted, and somehow not quite as present, I guess, as some runners would prefer. For these runners to find boots on the sooner side.
Yeah, especially last night's qualifier, no boots. so that was quite boring. You just have to walk the whole scene, so...
Yes, I feel very bad for the controllers, for those those runners who decided to try and get a little bit of extra pixel movement through pumping, and pumping for like an hour and a half, right? It can certainly be rough.
I can tell you that much. My fingers were bleeding, so...
Oh jeez. And that's why you can relax here today. Watch our runners pick up a map from the boomerang chest. Let's see what we got here in Zelda Cell, just a heart piece. Okay, Schulzer. Looks like he is actually going to say no to Dark Cross for the time being. Probably doesn't want to take a chance. In this case, basically, well, no bomb from the prize packs either. And, well, you only got one more check in Dark Cross, so hopefully going to come back in this case with some bombs.
I think this is probably the better thing to do for Schulzer's part. I mean, Schulzer can do whatever he wants to. Buane is doing the same thing, so that makes sense.
Yeah, looks like it.
Also, those fast beeping sounds for Buane, very relaxing. No, not stressful at all.
Yeah, that's one of Buane's, I would say, trademarks. I would say certainly a good number of runners, like Airy, Matt, also use the Dark Link sprite, and Buane is the only one who does who does double heartbeat. So you definitely know it's Buane. How's that?
Well, it's nice to know it's Buane, so it's not like Airy that's playing instead of Buane.
That's right. It's very easy to get confused by who's their man. Did you happen to catch what's on library?
I actually did not catch
fast. It. Yeah.
It's the same thing when Buane checked the lumberjack. Did not see what it was, but I don't think it was anything important.
Alright, well, so if it's important, they're gonna head that direction, but we're certainly gonna know in the future. Alright, thank you, chat. Looks like confirmation in chat that it was indeed not worth their time.
We have a book in the back of tavern here, so we got access to Desert if we want to.
Another reason why we would really like those boots, by the way. I mean, certainly, so we already have a fire source. We do have a hammer. We do not know in this case if Desert's gonna boots lock, and you would really like to be able to, not have to take that chance when you make your way over there.
Yeah, and also not having a glove makes it a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's also true. I'm sure we'll find a glove. I care more about the boots in this game. all these little details.
We got a pretty stacked line set here. Flippers, we got powder, and we got a boomerang. I mean, boomerang is quite nice.
Oh yeah, no, boomerang is actually surprisingly useful. Well, not in necessarily like especially for Buane, who's more familiar with NMG. If you have not sure if this is going to be an accuracy quite yet, but in the case we have to do Castle Tower, that boomerang, or also GT for that matter, is actually proven to be pretty useful, especially if you got some really nice speed strats with them.
Yeah, and just being able to get the stun price as well. I mean, if it's like 20 rupees or bombs, it's even better.
That's right, yeah, especially... Alright, so it looks like Schulzer finally in the well, getting our first set of bombs at the almost 7 minute mark. Buane, though, looks like he's avoiding Kakariko Village for the time being. Certainly a very common, strategy. Hopefully, you're going to, be able to find something extra, right? A bottle, a flute especially, right? Then you'll have to make, you can save yourself another Kakariko Village trip.
Yeah, and while Schulzer here is getting a lot of rupees, also got those flippers, so I'm starting to feel like maybe Sora has something for us today.
Yeah, and also, so I guess maybe there's also another benefit of maybe going to Uncle earlier, or maybe getting like a nice big magic drop. Wait, please be careful. Schulzer also found the powder in Blindside as well. With that hammer, we're gonna be able to check magic box.
Yeah, I think that it's a good saving quit spot, since he cleared out all of Kakariko now, so he just saving quit from the bat, so pretty nice and steady here for Schulzer. Blue cane, nice.
Alright, blue cane, always a nice safety item. Is one piece of the puzzle for Spike Cave, which, as you reminded us earlier, that was for the boost for last time. Surely, it won't hopefully happen again, right? Maybe?
Yeah, I don't want to get any flashbacks from yesterday. So.
Yeah, that's right.
The PTSD is strong.
I'm
well.
Alright, Schultz. Okay, so forget Spike Cave. We're recovering from some of the mental damage from yesterday. Oh man, boots are actually in Kakariko, and well, for those of you who actually, or for those runners who decided to try and get some magic earlier from elsewhere, because there wasn't actually any magic in Kakariko, you are going to be able to get your boots pretty dang quickly.
This is the perfect start here for at least Schulzer. Buane Well, Buane's good with the pumping and all that, so he.
Yeah, Buane.
Oh, there's a hook shot as well,
Oh,
and
jeez. All right.
this.
Well, we're getting a lot of good pieces of the puzzle so far. So nothing. So hookshot, I don't think opens up anything immediately yet. But I mean, you're always gonna want to see that hookshot sooner rather than later.
Especially based on the last few qualifiers, like the qualifiers this year with the hook shot has been pretty rude. So
yeah, like well, we're not gonna mention anything about about yesterday specifically, but there may or may not have been a hook shot inside Eastern Palace big chest that maybe eluded a runner or two.
I'm thinking more about the seeds where I had the hook shot in hammer pegs. Like what is it, like 2 or 3 times now?
Oh yeah, that's where hammer pegs K45. That was also another one. Yeah, that's I don't remember that. All right, so so speaking of, so Buane in this case, being an energy runner, he is very used to pumping, as you said, especially for the first 11 minutes or so without boosts. But kind of judging for his progress, he is gonna be able to get boosts right around the time as a typical NMG run. So I think he's gonna be right up his wheelhouse here.
The Buane's just gonna be this feels natural.
That's
so
right.
this is completely fine.
Alright, so meanwhile, the Schulzer looks like he is gonna repeat some of his episode. That hookshot, by the way. So we did see, Buane try to take down mini mold arms with bombs. It did require a little bit of care, but in this case, Schulzer coming here with the hookshot. Presumably it's gonna actually be a little bit safer and easier, just because, these are gonna be one-shotted.
Yeah, no, just having a better weapon than bombs or hammer in here is so much, like, you don't have to be like, oh no, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, that's right. Buane also, of course, showing us that, he knows also how to save some extra frames, giving us a couple chest turns along the way.
I love those chest turns. They are so satisfying.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh no, Schulzer!
Yeah, so the crabs in this game, they actually do hurt, so be careful.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not a great spot to. I mean, it's certainly not going to be the end of the world, right? Because
So there was nothing in the Ice Rod Cave, so he also can be fine. Like he didn't miss out on anything.
Yeah, especially now that, he has flippers. He doesn't necessarily have to go all the way to, like, Ice Rock Cave to set up, like, a water walk, so it could be a little bit faster, right? If he had gone, all the way, but it's not gonna be, like, a super great, time loss. Typically speaking, especially in the overworld, if you take an early death, don't have flutes, can actually be a little bit costly, but just because of all the other equipment Schulzer has, it's really not gonna be a big deal.
That was a good part with this starting out with this seed, because you got pretty much everything already, so.
Alright, so Schulzer picking up a heart container, that is actually, typically speaking, runners don't care too much about, early health especially, but, well, this is a hard preset, not, a hard at least variant, and I think there are only something like 4 heart containers in the entire set, so especially early on, early health is going to be somewhat more valued in this case.
I think Schulzer would have appreciated that heart container just a few minutes ago. Alright, let's see. Waterfall Fairy, 2 items here, and then we can get 2 more items from the Zora area. So we got the piece of heart and, well, another piece. Well, there's the health you talked about.
Okay, well. Alright, Buane here. Alright, getting his boost, just a little bit delayed, from like the 11-minute mark. Maybe he had a a bad Eastern or something. But alright, so saving, quitting, and we're ready.
Ooh, that's a Kane of Samaria right on the sword ledge.
Alright, so we got the other Kane here. So of course, King of Samaria, again, doesn't, it is considered a later game item, doesn't unlock anything, immediately. I guess you could have technically fake powdered, maybe, if you, didn't have any magic with it, but, oh, jeez.
This is, well, did somebody say Desert Palace right now?
Yeah, that is actually very, great reminder, did point out that we do need gloves to access the back of desert. We got a fire source now, and we've got boots, and we've got the book from back of tavern, yeah. Desert Palace is actually looking pretty good.
I would definitely do Desert Palace before heading up the mountain, but it looks like Schulzer's going straight for the mountain, which I can't blame him. I mean, look at Schulzer's score, so he probably knows a few more things than I do. So.
Well, Schulzer certainly, has certainly quite a reputation. But it looks like maybe this is going to be a detour to the back of Escape. Looks like certainly no weapon quite yet. It's going to be a little bit careful with the rats. But let's see what we got. 20 rupees. Ether, that could be good. Meanwhile, though, Buane looks like he's going to give us a first check into dark lit up cross. This could be, of course, our last item, so we already just see the map and the small key.
I do like they're at the there's a sword, so that's even more convenience.
Yeah, alright, so game is super playable now. We found clues to Kakariko, basically, right? We found a sword here in Dark Cross. Now we can dash with impunity. Don't have to worry about stopping and getting hurt from enemies.
I really like that the Buane is doing the whole way through the escape right now. This way, like there's a glove on Sora.
That is an unfortunate consequence of Buane's routing, but looks like he is able to kind of make it back here. Looks like at least no real consequence. If both either runner had decided to Dark Cross early, because they were going to be able to find a glove, they didn't have to necessarily use a small key to get to the back. But of course, especially for Qualifier, this early on, you probably want to spare yourself some mental damage.
Oh yeah, 100%. I do agree on that one. The mental damage is real whenever you play random, and especially in qualifiers as well. It is maybe like there's what did you say? It was like 80 plus people in this one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Maybe it doesn't sound that stressful, but if you want a really good score, you need to be like, oh, I need to play the best random I've ever done, and that makes it a lot more stressful.
Yeah, and especially in your strategy definitely changes. In like a big race versus like a one-on-one, and also potentially the field may or may not have protection for you. Maybe you want to play things a little bit safer, but of course if you take like an unfortunate death or something like that, that can certainly weigh on your mind a lot more, just because you know that you have to compete against, in this case, 87 other people, right?
Yeah. And Schulzer here needs to be a little bit careful. One heart, so.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, the first overworld death that he took right outside Mini Moldrum Pig, wasn't too bad. This one though is not super great to take.
Yeah, that's one. If you died there, that's one you definitely get a little bit tilted out there. Oh, look at that half magic.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. So as part of the hard item preset, there is actually no half magic today. That is our replacement. Schulzer doesn't even get any benefit from it, just because he's already at a full magic. Whereas Buane, if he goes up there now, he will at least get a little bit more magic. But until then, we don't actually know in this case if Buane wants to go into the mountain like what Schulzer's doing, or after this glove, maybe he is he's interested to the desert.
I would be super tempted to go to Desert Palace right now. Like, you got that book, you got the glove and all that stuff really early. Like, I feel like it's pointing towards Desert Palace at this point.
Yeah, and of course, we looks like actually our tracker Sammy has already caught the earlier map check. We're doing 3 crystals here in the Light World with a Greek Pendant Thieves Town. So. Well, we've got some potential hope that this is going to be a fast siege, just because we have 3 crystals in the Light World. Leaves more room for in this case for Turtle Rock and Meyer, let's say, to be pendants.
But we do have that one issue with this settings we're using. There's only one bow in the item pool.
You also bring up a very good point.
We have seen a few seeds at least where the bow has been at very nasty spots. So.
That is true. Yes, that's actually another feature, not bug, in this case of the hard item preset, is that bows are not progressive in this case. So in the event we potentially are going to be able to see silvers, as a separate item, and yeah, we are definitely going to be looking for that bow today. No mimic clipping to get us out of it. Eastern Palace is a crystal, so we're gonna have to find the bow, and it's hard required.
Unless there's ways that have been found that you can mimic clip in Eastern, which I don't think is possible yet.
I don't think, yeah, I guess, so people could certainly, get on that. Alright, then meanwhile though, alright, so it looks like, Buane, has gonna, just like Schulzer, has decided to, go up the mountain, gonna probably get, the rest of his goodies. A little bit behind Schulzer in terms of actual, hard progression in this case, but, certainly nothing, of consequence. Schulzer has basically just cleared out Paradox Cave, hasn't really done anything too, interesting, but we are here in Hera with boots, with hookshot. Looks like, Schulzer just set up to Hera pot here. Shortcut up the tower.
I mean, it's a shortcut if you get it like on the first few tries, but if you
Yeah.
get stuck, it actually doesn't save you that much time in the end.
So I guess like the hope, of course, is that we are not gonna have to do the basement, and we're gonna find both items here, in Hera. Oh no, yes.
Is that okay? Both items.
Yeah, you know what? Those are yes. Thank you, Schulzer. I didn't even remember like what was in the basement, but we found both items already in Hera, so this would be a really nice fast figure.
So unless something happens here, I think Moon Pearl is going to actually end up in a desert area because we have done everything on the mountain.
Yeah, that is true. I can't remember if we got an either tablet check from either of our runners. So we certainly can't get it at this point. Since we don't have a Master Sword yet, but we do have that book. So we're going to be able to at least read the tablet to see whether or not it's going to be useful.
Yeah, Schulzer have not read the tablet yet, so maybe Buane will do it before he heads into Hera here.
Yeah, and of course, for those of you who are maybe wondering if necessarily this is going to be an Agassi, looks like Buane is going to give us a check. Not going to care about that whatsoever. But yeah, for an Agassi, we're actually still, we do have the lamp, we do have the sword, but we're going to need probably one more piece of the puzzle, Master Sword, or in this case, like a cape, which we have not seen either of yet.
And I don't think our runners want to see at least not the cape at this point, but
yeah,
a sword would be nice.
Yeah, a cape certainly, a lot of course, does open up Bumper Ledge when we eventually get to the Dark World, but yeah, that if our runners do find a cape, it is going to be quite suspicious in this case.
Wayne, that doesn't work like that. Wayne, there we go.
Alright, yeah, looks like, yeah, so, yeah, Buane and...
I think the best part with this seed right now is that the both of our runners will have like 2 crystal clear before heading to there's a flute before heading to Dark World.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, a flute actually would be quite nice actually.
Yeah, they have one right there on Desert Ledge, so I mean it doesn't open up anything right now.
We are never gonna turn down a flute.
Now more easy movement. I wouldn't say no to that.
Alright, Buane, shedding off his energy muscle memory, opting to do hammer mode in this case. Probably gonna be a little faster.
Fire Rod. So another easy, fast way to take down that Mola, so you have a Fire Rod now.
Oh yeah. Actually, that is actually something that's really nice, both for our runners, just because we do have all the tools, and requirements, to beat land mode and clear out another crystal for us. But hammer and fighter sword land molas is certainly not going to be as fast as in this case we just have the fire rod, especially a full magic bar in this case to go with it.
Okay, there's the second item, so there's no Moon Pearl here. Where's that Moon Pearl, Clear Mouse?
Yeah, it is the great mystery so far of of our seed and light world today.
We don't really have that many options at this point. I think it's Eastern Palace and Agena? I don't think they've checked Agena, right?
I believe you are correct. I think that in this case, both runners decided to basically just rush desert, you know, and probably going to see if they want to do a Gina in this case, like after desert, right? Because you know, Gina is certainly considered to be like an overworld check, right? It's not the fastest, but you know, let's say just say right in this case, you find your some progression here in desert, right? Moon Pearl, maybe Cape, right? Especially Moon Pearl, you get Dark World access, you know, that check may not actually happen in this case.
Yeah, I think that's the like you're saying. Also, like being able to clear Lamolas here and get that second crystal, and then just run into Agina's cave. Good, also good way to have a nice and easy semi-quit spot. Just like when they did that semi-quit at the Magic Bat earlier. So I'm having some slight issues here with Lamos, but takes down Lamos. That's the second crystal. We're already like 25 minutes in.
Yeah, this is actually pretty potentially really good fast seed here. You know, again, right? Like we're clearing crystals, pretty quickly, pretty efficiently, and not only that, right? The light world dungeons are much shorter compared to dark world ones.
I think it also, I think our runners really hope that like Skullwoods is a crystal this time around, so we already have that early fire rod as well. Another crystal they would be able to get pretty fast.
Yeah, as you were saying, where is that bow? We also, well, look at that. You know what? I was actually hoping that there would be something in Eastern Palace, which our runners haven't gone to yet. But you know what? Again, this case does have Moon Pearl.
Well, that's kind of assumed it was going to be in that area, but like you said, we really want something in Eastern. This feels very fast to see it right now.
Yeah, and of course, our runners in this case are, I think, as of many other people, are really good in this case, are hoping that they're going to be able to find a bow before they have to visit at least Eastern Palace.
Yeah, I think since we know that there's only one bow, you don't want to go to like Pod or Eastern. Like you don't want to go there. Yeah, especially not Pod at this point.
Yeah, that's really true. And of course, for those seeds or modes in this case that actually do have progressive bows, right? You are actually going to be able to potentially find like a bowlock bow in Pod. Who has been surprised about that? But this, as we just said, because bows are not progressive. In this case, your routing or your decision making in this case could actually be slightly biased in this case because there's only going to be one of them.
Let's see if Schulzer is going to give us a map check here. Yes, we have a pendant pod and a pendant ice palace.
Ooh, okay.
Pendant
that's pod,
pendant pod. Yeah. It feels like something's gonna be there because it's pendant pod.
Yeah, oh man, yeah, it's well, yeah, and so pendant pod. Well, okay, right, we don't have a bow quite yet, and I'm not sure in this case how motivated people are going to be in order to finish it. Typically speaking, especially if pod is a crystal, not in this case, but maybe you want to try and put that area off until you have a mirror, so you can combo pod and Eastern together. But yeah, to be able to check in this case having some crystal pendant knowledge, well, it's gonna be more decisions that you're gonna have to be able to make.
Yeah, also that the Swamp Palace and Turtle Rock is 5-6 crystals makes it like I don't think Pyramid Fair is going to have anything at all in this scene.
I mean, anytime really kind of see Turtle Rock as a as a 5/6 crystal, you kind of already maybe just kind of deprioritizing Pyramid Fairy just because of all the requirements that you kind of need in order to beat Turtle Rock. And certainly no one has ever heard of Ice Rod Go mode or anything like that. So. Ooh, okay. Buane here, finding some nice goodies, or at least silver arrows. As we do see that, well, if bows had been progressive, this would have been our first bow, but, well, we're gonna have to still be searching. But, of course, the good news is that when we do find the bow, at least on Buane's side, presumably Schulzer's side as well soon, we're gonna be able to at least have silvers for the rest of the game.
I'd say I really like this divergency between Buane and Schulzer here. Schulzer doing that, oh shit, I can clear another crystal out, and Buane's more like, I'm gonna investigate to see because
and we're actually talking about some different potential routing strategies in this case. So whether or not it's actually influenced by the fact that Schulzer already has 4 very well scored qualifiers done, he can maybe choose to take a slightly different strategy. Clear out crystal dungeons, doesn't have to play as defensive. Meanwhile, Buane here, you look at you watch him kind of take some more higher investment checks, Catfish, Pyramid, Overworld. Buane is still kind of playing. This is only his second qualifier, and the most important part of qualifiers is that you have a good score, not the best score. Right? So Buane, I think, just wants to maybe play a little bit more conservatively to make sure that he at least has a decent standing. Not necessarily the best one.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense for Buane to do all these checks as well. The checks he's doing right now, Buane, it's checks that are relatively slow in general, but if it's paid, if he gets something huge here,
oh yeah,
not a lot of people would go there early on.
Yeah, right. And so especially for qualifiers, right? It's you can probably afford to spend, especially for Buane's side when execution can carry him quite far, right? You're probably willing to spend the extra, let's say 30 seconds to a minute to do an extra check instead of, well, I'm gonna skip it and then half an hour later come back to last location and then you just feel even worse, right?
That's just sound like me the last.
It may not. Well, I don't know if it stings better or worse. If it's in a 1-on-1, but it certainly does not feel very good in a big qualifier.
No, especially if it's like we said earlier, if it's like a 1v1 race or whatever, it's like, well, that's too bad. But whenever it's a qualifier, you're like, this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel good.
Alright, maybe we're just trading places here between Buane and Schulzer. It looks like Schulzer's going to, looks like maybe check out Pyramid. Maybe go to Catfish.
I think if we go up here, I don't think you go to Pod already.
Okay.
Well, Buane's checking Pedestal.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did get a very, very early book in Kakariko at the back of the tavern. Is it today anything? It is just one of the 48 heart pieces that we have here in the pool. So, Buane can probably make given the fact that he did give up that heart container at Catfish, probably means that he's not gonna try and go for the pedestal prize here today.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that he's not going for a pedestal? Well, that's.
I'm
so disappointed
now. We can certainly ask him about that in the post-race interview if he's interested in giving us a couple insights on what he was thinking, as part of the strategy.
Now, to be honest, about this whole health situation, when it comes to runners like Buane and Schulzer, they don't need many hearts in general. They are very, like Buane, for example, has been around for a very long time, so he's pretty comfortable with low percent.
Yeah, and I guess speaking of, so he's here in Skull Woods, probably actually right around the area of of NMG level. I guess one thing to note about this is as part of the hard item preset, there is actually no blue mail or any type of armor upgrade. These guys are going to be on green mail the entirety of the time.
I like the play Schulzer's doing right now. He's going to go immediately to Spike Cave. I like this.
Yeah, maybe Schulzer, has some feelings about Spike Cave after yesterday's call. Looks like not worth our time though.
I like to save and quit as well because he saves his magic, so he did really lose that. Well, he
Yeah.
lost the time running up there, but the magic's quite useful.
Yeah, right. And yeah, I mean, so this, and actually, just kind of like watching kind of the qualifiers, maybe playing some of them, you know, resource management is definitely a thing, whether it's rupees, whether it's bonds, you know, whether it's in this case like magic, you know, we do know there's going to be no half magic today, right? And some, you know, half magic is actually pretty powerful. Certainly going to be, you know, pretty conscious in this case. Oh yeah, speaking of, we haven't actually picked up any bottles yet, but there are actually only 2 bottles in the entire pool. Sorry, we're only gonna be able to get two bottles in this case, and they're always gonna come empty. There's maybe 1 bottle.
I think there's only 1.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, for this set, that's right. It's only 1. Yeah, so even safeties, you gotta have to even like go out of your way and be conscious. In this case, of being able to pick them up.
I'm actually quite jealous of these guys because I haven't even picked up powder in the last few months. So,
you know,
oh, there we go. Well,
all right. Well, you know, so I was gonna say, so powder, you know, arguably MVP of the seed because it got you the boots, but you know, Schulzer actually just found the bow here in chess game. That is gonna open up Eastern Palace.
Thought.
And I was just hoping for the good parts.
I mean,
Eastern is a crystal. But that is certainly potentially going to be, you know, especially looking at what Schulzer has been, you know, like his general strategy you observed earlier, right? Basically, whenever another crystal dungeon kind of opens up for him, Schulzer is just, you know, beelining for it. You know, versus, well, so that's potentially going to be another stop in this case for Schulzer.
I do like that we have Green Pen Thieves Town. I think we actually will. I think I would actually clear this one out because you can turn into Green Pennant when you go to Easter.
Yeah, that is actually certainly a really good point. You know, and also just because, you know, we also don't have a mirror quite yet, can't really necessarily, you know, make it as efficient. I am actually very curious to see in this case what Buane and Schulzer decide to do. You know, again, this is Schulzer's 5th qualifier, right? He has a lot more liberty. In this case, it's kind of, you know, be more cavalier about his decisions, right? Maybe he wants to choose to skip the back of Thieves Town, depending on, you know, what he ends up finding. Buane, you know, maybe would choose to be a little bit more conservative. I am very interested to see, you know, what these 2 guys do.
Yeah, I think that's the highlight here. One of the runners we have here on Restream got nothing to lose, and that's Schulzer. While Wayne got, well, I'm not gonna say everything to lose, but whatever happens here will definitely affect his next one.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, and so, you know, of course, we always, in this case, every runner's highest and lowest scores gets dropped. It's just, you know, it doesn't necessarily feel great if you know, I guess, like, say very early on in the 2nd or 3rd qualifier that this is going to be the one I'm going to drop because, you know, it gives you a lot more pressure, right, for your subsequent races.
And Wayne is giving us these checks that Schulzer haven't done, so you can definitely tell that Wayne is playing a little bit more careful than Schulzer is doing.
Yeah, yeah. Wayne also, you know, checking bumper ledge in this case. No cape inside, of course, means that you know, if we're gonna speculate that he is not gonna go for the pedestal. A heart piece, probably not going to see him go for that bumper ledge heart piece as well.
Yeah, I think that one will be buried on the bumper, on top of the bumper for the rest of the seed. So
yeah. All right, Buane picking up his bow. Probably gonna see, I guess, what he ends up doing. Looks like so Schulzer, at least for the time being, he's going to opt to go to the back. Of course, you know, early hammer definitely means that, you know, Dark World routing is going to be a little bit nicer. Don't have to necessarily always be kind of shoehorned into the Kakariko Dark World portal. We can actually do both with hammer pegs. We can flute to spot 5 and actually enter the Dark World. A lot more conveniences, and of course, being able to let us fully clear Thieves Town without having to leave anything behind.
And that's always a great feeling because sometimes it can actually be quite scary to go in here to Thieves Town without the hammer, and especially if you found the small key early on. That's a nightmare.
Alright, unfortunately, just the map, it was, I think, at that point, probably 50-50. And so Schulzer is going to, I guess, keep going. Yeah, it looks like actually, yeah, a question from chat, potentially, you know, why are runners potentially considering the back of Thieves Town? Yeah, I think some of the suggestions are pretty good. This is a green pennant on the bus, and the Buane did check. Oh, Buane has knowledge a pedestal is not worth his time, but of course, this is the green pendant, and yeah, we're still looking for lots of things. Myths, ice rod. Mirror, probably a medallion, maybe.
We're not that far away from go mode, but also we're kind of far away
Yeah.
at the same time. So it's also like you're right here in Village of Outcasts. 4 items at Thieves Town, technically 5 since the green pendant will give you an item. I think it's hard to say no to this dungeon at this point.
Yeah, right, and locality is certainly a very big factor. You know, we do have the flute, which gives us a good amount of light world movement, but we don't quite have the mirror yet, so being able to kind of travel in dark world is not going to be very good.
Now we have that nice feeling to be able to flute to Eastern. If you want to do that, turn in that green pendant, and then when you're done with Eastern, and if you don't find anything, flute down to 5 again. And go into pod, so it's quite nice in that manner. So
yeah, looks very efficient. All right, I'm curious to see what Schulzer is doing. Maybe he is going to take a page out of Buane's strategy book. Looks like maybe this is going to be a pedestal check for him as well.
Yeah, if this is not a pedestal check, I'm very curious why Schulzer goes back. So
yeah. All right, looks like he is going to head north. Certainly very reasonable.
It's very reasonable because you've already done Thieves Town, which is a green pendant. You got Pendant Pod wide open.
Yeah, that's
you still need mitts for ice pals, but I mean, you might not have the requirements to enter GT or not GT, Turtle Rock and Meyer. So you'd be like, hey, that pedestal is looking quite tasty. So
yeah, and you know, in this case, this also could be something, you know, that is more, you know, defensive, right? If something is okay, in this case, like Schulzer and Buane both kind of invested like a minute or so to go check the pedestal. You know, if something had actually been on pedestal, right, that knowledge, right, was, for instance, Schulzer will basically tell him immediately that I'm gonna go clear out every single pendant dungeon, right? I'm gonna go get the pendants. And in this case, you know, if this doesn't, you know, all right, so he probably make up a minute, you know, somewhere else if he needs to.
I'm actually more curious why Schulzer is doing pod first instead of turning in the green pendant and doing Eastern first.
That is also interesting as well.
But I mean, it is 5 items in here in pod, and it's pendant pod. It always got something.
You know, I believe I've even seen people have emotes, you know, telling us to believe in pod. Maybe Schulzer, you know, is also believing in this case.
I mean, it's bow locked. So
it is, yes.
If you went here without the bow, you probably will not come back until super late because you're already been here and open one chest and look, it's the map.
Yeah, yeah, but I think at this point, you know, because, you know, again, no mirror in this case, Schulzer's probably gonna, as you mentioned, just gonna commit to clearing out this dungeon.
I mean, if you're super lucky enough, you get that mirror in here, and it's just happy days.
Alright, that looks like Buane is going to do a couple more overworld checks that I believe Schulzer actually decided to opt out of once he, in this case, left Thieves Town.
Yeah, Schulzer's just rushing dungeons at this point, so...
Yeah, certainly very interesting strategy, you know, a difference from Buane versus Schulzer here. You know, Buane has certainly, you know, I won't say he hasn't, you know, not focused on dungeons, but he certainly has given more priority to overworld checks.
I think that's a very wise move to do as well, because whenever you're done with all these overworld checks, you will only have the dungeons to clear, like Pod, Easter, and all that stuff. So even if you're kind of last locating whatever you find in the dungeons, at least you don't have to check like Stumpy and all that stuff later.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in this case, certainly Buane has not really left a lot of holes, here out in the overworld, as you just said, trying to be like a little bit more thorough. Schulzer, though, he's got, yeah, he's been very, good with dungeons, but in terms of overworld, there are quite a number of different checks that's available to him.
Wayne doing the thing I thought Schulzer would do first.
Alright, well, yeah, we're also gonna delay. It looks like the green pen turn in ever so slightly. Just because I think we're still looking for a lot of stuff, not gonna matter too much when we turn in, like now, before versus after Eastern Palace, and just with the different, the foods we can't flutify, we have the glove. I think just doing Eastern Palace first and then heading back, to South House probably a bit faster.
Wayne just want that NMG feeling.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Green pen after doing Eastern.
But then he shouldn't be dashing here in Eastern Palace, right? He really wants the he really wants the NMG experience. He's probably willing to give that up though.
Wayne, come on, just pump the walls, please.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, we're gonna presumably after this, Buane and Schulzer are gonna kind of swap places, but we're gonna be able to get double the information straight away. First item in Eastern Palace is more money. What do you think Schulzer's found? I know he found a map in the first chest, but I don't actually think he found anything else so far.
Nah, I think he's just been finding keys at this point. So, well, there's bombs, so I think that's actually the first item.
Okay, alright, so a harmless hallway also has, in this case, a heartbeat, so that's another item. Yeah, actually, so speaking of items, we were talking about, potential go mode. We don't necessarily need a lot, but at the same time, we also need a lot. We also do need a sword at some point. I know that these guys are very capable, with any level of sword, but we are going to have to at least find a master sword here today to kill Ganon.
Yeah, and that sword, well, those swords could be anywhere, and I feel like Schulzer's just finding nothing here.
Yeah, and so far it looks like Pen and Pot's actually pretty empty.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's it.
So, believers in Pod, sorry, but it's not one of those seats. I think it comes down to Eastern and the Green Pen at this point, because we don't have many options anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It looks like Schulzer is actually gonna go, in this case, do Eastern. Green Pen to turn in first? Maybe before Eastern?
I just love how Buane and Schulzer are doing like complete different things at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's great information for us. That's right. Schulzer hasn't checked the back yet. I don't think he was missing out on too much though.
I mean, he was missing out on that piece of heart.
Yes, that is true. He is so much danger. Yeah, pieces of heart, rupees, and 10 arrows in this case.
And Green Pendant having nothing, so I think Eastern is the actual call here.
Yeah,
so, Mirror, Mitts would open up a few things. Swamp would be open if we get the mirror here.
Yeah, Mirror would open up like Graveyard Ledge, for example. But I think maybe in this case, Mitts is probably like the best bet.
I think Mitts is what Buane wants right now. I don't think you want to see the mirror because he's already done. Oh good lord! Oh good lord!
How could we forget the shovel, Alex? that was an actual point of progression in this case.
Well, do you think Buane checks that immediately, or?
So after Green Pen and turn in, I believe a shovel is going to be his next spot.
I actually didn't even think about that shovel.
Yes, that is actually a very, very good point. I guess maybe another option was going to be the mushroom. We haven't seen that yet.
The mushroom is up on the floating island. So.
Oh, okay, I must have missed that. All right, well, thank you very much for the reminder.
So it will take a while until we get that one. We still need Mitts and Mirror before that's even relevant.
Yeah. Alright, okay, alright, Buane checked Green Pendant, just 10 arrows to replenish all the arrows that he used in Armos. Alright, so what is this gonna be?
Mitts, hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Mitts is gonna definitely open up the most amount of things, so chances are high it's going to be the Mitts. Hey, there we go. So a slight delayed satisfaction of finding progression in Eastern. Don't skip this dungeon. All right, so
Don't skip Eastern for a shovel.
that's right. Yes.
Even if you get a shovel, please go and check that shovel immediately. Don't.
That's right. Yes.
Oh, Ether required for Myers, so
Yeah.
we do have access for another crystal.
Yeah, that's actually very true. Yeah, so yeah, with those myths, Buane has the world open to him, but looks like his first stop is gonna be the Maya area, and as you just mentioned, vanilla. Again, another cue for Buane. Going back to his NMG roots. It's a vanilla medallion. We've got Cane of Samaria, which is on Zora Ledge earlier. Plenty of money, so no real worries there. And actually, we do actually have a bow and silvers. Is gonna make Vitreous a whole heck of a lot nicer versus like, well, really anything else that we have, like hammer, for instance.
Yeah, and just like, well, what is it now? Again, 32 spins with the fire sword, whatever it is.
I'm gonna trust your word, Alex, because I actually have no idea.
I've done Vitreous way too many times with fire sword League, so thank you for your agent and whoever made League. So.
Yeah. All right. I guess we maybe just blame Dante or something, right?
No, I can't blame that thing. So I can't. So sorry, Clear Mouse.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, so Alessio, the good news for Schulzer is that after he's gonna well, assuming he's gonna turn in his shovel, which I think there is probably really nothing left for him. He's gonna be able to pick up his mitts or dig up his mitts. Meanwhile, Buane.
I mean, it's a Godmire.
Yeah. He's going directly to the back in this case. Very interesting.
I mean, if you don't if you get one item here on Vitreous, I don't think you go back in. I wouldn't go back in. Even if you're missing items, you still have so many checks open, and there's one item.
Okay, all right. So maybe we're gonna hope that, or at least Buane's certainly gonna hope that there's gonna be an item on Vitreous. We did pick up the lamp earlier, of course, so no dark rooms are gonna pose too much of an issue. Oh, we even have the fire rod too. We can do spooky.
Yeah, I was gonna say even if we didn't have the lamp, Buane would probably just do dark spooky. So.
Yeah, and given how much in this case, of course, we are going to see Buane a little bit more true to his NMG roots in this case, but hopefully gonna get spooky a couple extra times. But in this case, right, for how much rando Buane has played, certainly I was very confident in his dark room skills.
Yeah, I was gonna say Buane having issues with dark rooms. I don't think that's very likely.
At this point, it's just not possible. Okay, speaking of divergence, this is the theme of today's restream today. Schulzer taking those mitts, going straight up the mountain. Looks like we'll get some Dark Death Mountain checks.
Yeah, I like this divergency. Okay, a small key from Vitreous, so there's one more item in my... honestly, if I was to run in here, I wouldn't go in, but it would also be risky to not go in. I don't know what Buane decides to do here.
Yeah, and again, this it's going to be another decision point between I'm running against 87 other people or I'm running against one other person. Looks like though Buane is going to opt to go back inside. Maybe in this case, especially if the item is not cutscene chest, maybe it's in the big chest or something like that, right?
Yeah, hopefully
it's
in
certainly you can certainly get out earlier.
Oh, there's a mirror.
Yeah, wow. Alright, so pretty dang good payoff here for Schulzer up the mountain, finding that mirror. So he's already done a lot of the light world Death Mountain checks, so mirror's probably not gonna be... Oh, I guess the mirror's gonna get him off the mushroom. That's gonna be one extra thing. But not sure. But in this case, he's gonna be able to have his light dark world, very efficient. Oh jeez. Alright, yeah.
Okay, so... Whenever, there's a mass, we could be in go mode right now.
Oh, dude, I mean, so I think I's gonna be on Schulzer's side for what the medallion is for Tour de Rock, because are you going in? If it's Ether?
I mean, if you're already up here and you need to do another climb, so okay, it's Quake. We need Quake.
Okay, alright. So vanilla medallions today. Schulzer is not going to be able to capitalize on his two extremely good finds here. in Dark Death Mountain. Buane did find the second item in Compass Chest, so didn't have to quite do the cutscene. But it was unfortunately just nothing, so looks like Buane is going to probably get the same set of goodies that Schulzer found. And then I don't know, what do you think? Ice Palace? Oh no, probably not Ice. Swamp Palace?
You do definitely do Swamp first, and then you do Ice. If you don't, I think you will save the other mirror checks until like absolutely the last.
Okay. All right. Actually, so speaking of mirror checks, Schulzer here is here with the mirror. You think he'll do checkerboard?
Oh wait, did Schulzer not pick up the mushroom?
He did not pick up the mushroom. Actually, he
Ooh.
left the mushroom because he just did Hookshot Cave, and then he checked the medallion. I believe he just left.
Imagine if that mushroom got quick.
Yeah, that is. Well, okay, so we're gonna get confirmation on Buane's side if he decides to. Oh my God, Buane!
Oh my God!
Okay,
Buane, please!
Oh. Okay, so this is you know we always talk about the perils of quick swapping. You know, in dungeons especially, you know, with you quick swap the mirror, you accidentally press the button instead of firing an arrow. Well, I would argue that Buane accidentally quick swapping to flute, calling the duck, and then getting picked up on accident is arguably just as punishing.
It's like whenever you quick swap in Dagger 2 and you accidentally oops, oh no.
Yeah, mountain climbs are not cheap, just in case anyone was curious. But Buane, of course, you know, the pro rando player he is, recovers very nicely, still manages to hop into the Dark World portal.
I just realized that this seed right now is so incredibly fast that it's stupid. This one is stupid.
I mean, you know, it's fast seeds can certainly increase some variance in potentially the qualifier scores.
Which could be a good thing. Could be a good thing for the people that are watching this one.
Yeah,
because
that's certainly very true. Yes.
So if anybody has done like 4 qualifiers and waiting with the 5th one, this one could be good for you. Could be. No, it could be.
Yes. All right. Buane has picked up his mushroom. I believe he also did take a check on Turtle Rock, so he knows that it is Quake in this case.
I think the worst part is, like, since we're looking for a medallion, that medallion could be anywhere.
Yeah. I was actually gonna say, like, you said that, you know, the seed is potentially fast. You know, medallion hunts, you know, are potentially, you know, I mean, medallion hunt almost, you know, as bad as an ice rock hunt. So, although it looks like Buane, you know, did turn in the mushroom, it is only another piece of heart. You know, the fact that he's not even picking that one up means that he's probably not gonna pick up the one in pedestal or bumper ledge for that matter.
Oh, you're making me sad now.
I'm sorry. You know, there's always hope on Schulzer's side. You know, Buane we know won't do it, but maybe Schulzer.
But Schulzer ignored the one on mushroom because he never picked up the mushroom.
Well, he doesn't know it turned into a heart piece. You know.
Oh, that's true. Well, Buane going to Swamp Palace now, not doing Bumbo's tablet before. I would be tempted to do Bumbo's before because.
Oh yeah, there's Bumbo's tablet. There's K45 with the mirror.
Yeah, I would be very tempted to do both of them before going to Swamp. Just, you know, if there's nothing there, you can actually just do left side.
Oh yeah, that's also true. This is going to be another, you know, point of contention. We are, as we established, that at this point, we would certainly like a sword. You know, everyone likes being on tempered sword, but in terms of go mode, they just need that quick medallion. So you could potentially save yourself a decision to make about left side swamp. That certainly could be something.
I mean, left side swamp is pretty fast these days because of dive down, but I mean, as long as you can, like, if you can skip left side swamp, you would happily do it, right?
Alright, first check in Swamp Palace is just a compass, so slightly displaced. I mean, you certainly want to see more items now up front because, you know, in this case, if you keep seeing items, right, you know, potentially maybe you're willing to just go to the back first. And then, you know, of course, you know, the best possible layout, right, is that map and compass are both on the left side, and you don't have to worry about a thing. In this case, though, yeah, we already have seen one dungeon item, so not looking as promising.
I guess the nice part with this, even if you're looking for medallion, you don't have to look for like ice rod this time. Right?
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, boy.
Wayne, Wayne.
All right, Boyd was so fast. The game didn't even register that he picked up the key. You know, this is how fast Boyd is with his execution.
The game said no to Wayne. He's like, nope, you're not getting that small key before you do anything else. This is not NG.
Yeah. Alright, first item here in Swamp Palace is just 10 arrows, the same thing as we got from our Green Pendant turn-in. Not quite of interest, but looks like though, Boyd, one item from Go Mode, he is going to opt to go to the back first. This is of course also very reasonable. You are probably going to feel kind of silly, you know, doing all of left side when maybe, you know, Quake is just kind of sitting, you know, on Argus or something like that, right?
Yeah, it makes sense going back to the back first, in my opinion. Oh, look at that, our first bottle!
Still sub-hour, very impressive. And yes, just for the record, all 4 bottles are actually still placed. It just happens to be that you can only keep one of them in your inventory. But, well, Swamp Palace, you know, always has something.
Does that mean that we still have a sword in Swamp? Because that's normally how...
Well, you know, the bottle does open up Sick Kid, so maybe Sick Kid has our 3rd sword, just like the shovel had our mitts, right?
That's pretty much like what I'm thinking, because it feels like one of those things, like, oh, let's go in, do left side Swamp, but you actually go to Sick Kid first, and you guess, oh, look at that, Go Mode.
Alright, Buane, unfortunately, as we've also seen from Schulzer, unless he decides to do left side first, we are going to be on Master Sword fighting Argus. Not going to be quite the traditional quick kill attempt that we're going to be able to see for Zero Cycle, but Buane looks like he is actually to do you know, a couple hook and spins in this case to try and take Argus down.
Argus might look easy enough, but you can actually die here pretty fast.
Yeah. Right. So this is going to be another thing, right? You know, Argus is considered what the 2nd chronological dungeon that you fight in Dark World, but Argus, you know, and Puffs do 2 hearts of damage, especially for Buane's situation. You know, that is basically he can only take 1 hit, and be surprised on how Argus can move in order to just suddenly take your health away.
Here, Mouse. There's 2 items on left side.
2 items on left side. You can't make me, you know, answer these really difficult decisions.
Well, what would you do, Clear Mouse? What would you do?
Well, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna do what Buane is doing right here. It's going back in.
Now, like whenever it's like 2 items left, and I mean, you either have pendant pod, or pendant ice pals. I would still go for crystal first, like the crystal dungeon first to clear out. Like you still have 2 items in here. It's just like. It's a pain if you like leave and then you have to come back later because you need to drain the dam and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think at least like the good news I guess about coming back here is at least like for the key layout, right? We did not find in this case like the big key. So actually I guess that's bad news, right? Potentially, because if you have the big key here, we still have to go back to the front in order to open the big chest, unless of course the big key is locked in itself.
Yeah. So the people that always believe in left side Swamp first might be lucky enough to have done that before going to Argus.
I mean, at least, you know, watching Schulzer and Buane, you know, I guess like route these seeds, you know, for their decisions, you know, going to left side Swamp, at least for these guys is first, you know, can be actually, you know, a bit more precarious, but yeah, you are also noting that Schulzer has decided to skip out on left side Swamp and can check Bubbles tablets.
And well, it's not there, so where do you go now? Oh, ice spells, right? No.
I guess no K45. Oh, Sick Kid. Okay.
I feel like like you should have checked the K45. Oh, but yeah. Oh yeah. Never mind. Schulzer haven't done all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. He hasn't done South Dark World. Yeah, he's done Digging. He hasn't done Stumpy. Yeah,
but he's pushing his dungeons though. Like he's going straight for ice spells.
Yeah, that is very true. You know, and yeah, for him, yeah, Sick Kid was a pretty fast check, right, with the flute, and the mirror, of course. So just 3 bombs, of course. But yeah, looks like we're diving ice. Icebreaker, of course, with Kata Samaria is going to make Dungeon Clear a little bit faster. Looks like Buane, I caught a heart piece on left side. Of course, that was a big key, I think, at the Manila location. So yes, there's going to be a little bit of extra time here, you know, for Buane to full clear out this dungeon.
Oh yeah, it's not here. So
but we got a chest turn, so saving the frames here.
I mean, we need to save the frames, right? That's just the way you play this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have ice palace here that Schulzer's giving us, and then we got K45, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tube, and Smith Chain.
King's Tube. How could we forget about King's Tube? Maybe it's because we got we got Myths pretty late. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. I think we also have Graveyard Ledge maybe to go along with it. You know, kind of based on what, just again contrasting here between Buane and Schulzer. Mentioned that Schulzer here is just diving dungeons, right? I certainly would not be surprised to see Buane check out basically the rest of the overworld before diving to ice.
Oh, look at that! Another vanilla big key.
Well, but unlike vanilla, in this case, we have the Cadence of Mario, so we can break it out, take it out of sequence, and get it a lot faster.
Yeah, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there.
Oh,
yeah,
all right. Well, so I guess at 1 hour 3 minutes and change, Schulzer has found the Quick Medallion in the map chest of Ice Palace after icebreakering in. And now he has a full access to Turtle Rock. He is going to hope that, and he's going. And
Buane is not going ice. He's going to do Smith Chain here, so he's going to lose out on some time here.
Yeah, certainly the longer that, in this case, that we know from Schulzer's side, the longer that Buane delays going into Ice Palace is going to be more time, basically, that he is going to have to make up a little bit later. But that being said, we still don't know where that third sword, or fourth sword for that matter, is. We're only going to be able to keep the third one. But if maybe Buane can get a sword out of this and no sword shows up, for Schulzer on the way, Temper Sword can certainly make up a little bit of room here.
Yeah, and just having like we mentioned earlier, there's like 80 plus people running this one, so you don't have to think about like the top 3, or maybe like you don't focus on what Schulzer's doing if you're Buane. You just have to focus on the other.
Yeah, right.
Other people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so we're actually watching Schulzer make some decisions, but in this case, so out of the 86 other people, right? Not all of them dove into ice immediately. Buane potentially, is also potentially just playing a little bit defensively. Smith Chain, K45 especially, these are checks that a lot of people would reasonably go to, and so you certainly don't want to lose out to those people.
Yeah, you don't want to do something that will cost you a lot of time. And like I can't blame him. I would probably do the same thing. But what? Oh yeah, Sick Kid. I was like, what is Buane doing? What is Buane doing? Well, it's actual Sick Kid.
Yeah, that's right.
I kind of forgot that we just got our first bottle inside.
Oh yeah, that's right. In the back of Swamp. Yeah. Alright, so I guess the Baris, or the skeleton, yeah, Bari in this case, was a little bit of a bully to Schulzer, kind of knocked him off the platform, so a little bit of time lost there. Yeah, but I guess I just want to finish the thought about the bottle. If we see a few, oh dude, alright, but forget the bottle. Buane pulls out the Temper Sword from Purple Chest, so he is going to be cruising through the endgame here. Oh jeez, almost got large talk too, in this case. But yeah, that Temper Sword versus Schulzer's Master Sword potentially is actually going to be a pretty good game.
No, we just need Buane to enter ice as soon as possible.
That is true, yes. Of course, right. Looks like maybe after this, Graveyard Ledge, King's Tube. Buane is actually being very efficient with this routing, basically able to combine a lot of things, but well, in terms of efficiency though, maybe the right decision for this seed is to dive Ice Palace.
I really hope Buane dives Ice Palace now instead of Pendant Pod, because he's not beat the pod. And I'm a little bit worried.
Oh, you actually do bring up a really good point. We did see on Schulzer's side that, well, Schulzer needs to not die at first against Chomps.
This is scary. Okay, he survived.
Alright, just made it. Yeah, and I think at this point, I don't think Schulzer has anything in his bottle. Maybe he caught something, or maybe he bought a potion, but, yeah, certainly needs to be a little bit careful here in Turtle Rock.
Wait, what are you doing? No. Oh, he's gonna.
Maybe this is checkerboard cave.
Yeah, it has to be checkerboard because I've already been to the other thing. Yeah, you got the second item in.
Right. In Meyer. Right. Yeah, so I think at this point, Schulzer is probably just hoping that there is a sword along the way for him. I don't know how much he's willing to check outside of his immediate path. Like, even if he doesn't have to go check Laser Bridge, I'm not sure if he's willing to go there.
Go and grab your duck. Don't. Oh no, Buane is going to do.
This is not Flute 8. This is one next to Flute 8 on the map. If you let it wrap, maybe this is Spike Cave.
It is definitely Spike Cave because he checked the Ether tablet earlier. So
right.
But
and
it's just unfortunate because it's just gonna be a single arrow here for Buane.
And you know, Buane's already got 30 arrows. He doesn't need any more arrows right now. You know, he wants to not.
I'm just more curious that Buane is like so dedicated to like these one-off checks instead of like pod or ice, which got like 5 items / 3 items, instead of like going to checkerboard or Spike Cave. It just come on, Buane, ice pals, please.
Yeah, come on, Buane, we believe in you.
we want it to be a little bit closer here. Come on, we want to see that the tempered sword.
Buane is definitely going to be, assuming he goes into, the Temper Sword is going to help a lot on Trinex, to help out in Turtle Rock in general, just because, more things die to Temper. Looks like a potion, potentially.
Come on, Buane, just pick up that heart piece now.
Alright, Schulzer already on Laser Bridge. Looks like, he is not making any extra checks, right? Laser Bridge, especially at that point, trying to find the small key. A little bit of extra step probably wouldn't hurt Schulzer, but looks like once he found what he needs, which is the small key to go to the back to kill Trinex, he's done.
But Buane is finally making the right call here.
Oh, good job, Buane. All right, so Buane just needs a couple more extra minutes before he picks up the Quick Medallion, which is going to be his go mode in the Ice Palace map chest, the one immediately after the Icebreaker chest or the Vanilla Big Key. And then, of course, major contrast up here to Schulzer is that he is going to have, in this case, Temper Sword for everything. He's going to probably see a good amount of NMG strats versus Schulzer. It's going to be probably more rando specific, right? You're going to see Master Sword, Hammer fight here, as we're seeing here on Schulzer's side.
Well, Schulzer, you can do this. You had a little bit issue there with the Firehead, but managed to take it down.
Yeah, you can see, the using of the pause buffer strats here to make sure that he doesn't, die.
It would have been quite funny now if there was a sword on Laser Bridge and he totally ignored that.
Yeah. Well, these are just decisions that Schulzer has decided to make, right? He probably was going to. I think it would be quite amusing for us, right? Just because we would see this case. But Schulzer has said he is more than okay with being on Master Sword.
And there we go. At 1 hour, 11 minutes, and some kind of seconds, Buane is good.
Yeah, so speaking of go mode, Schulzer has just finished up the 7th crystal. You see a bunch of numbers here in chat, Alex. What do you think?
What is the numbers? What is that number thing?
I don't know.
I'm new to this, so
yeah. I will say that coincidentally, all of these numbers look between 1 and 22 inclusive. So maybe Chad is trying to guess where Schulzer is going to locate that GT Big Key is.
So you're telling me that we're playing a game while we're watching a game?
Something like that. It's interactive participation.
Oh crap! So where do you think the Big Key will be?
Well, I think it's somewhere between 1 and 22.
What if I say 23 though?
That's true. It also could be. So we can certainly going to be counting here on Schulzer's side. It looks like he's going to go to right side first, small key on the torch. So that's check number 1, not the big key we're looking for.
Are you sure? I feel like if you put one small key together with the small key you just picked up, that's probably a big one. Right?
Yeah, maybe, you know, it's they're like Legos, right? You have to, you know, get, you know, 4 small keys or something to build yourself a big key.
Does it come with an IKEA
Yeah,
instruction?
yeah, that's true. Do we get an Allen wrench? Oh, jeez. All right. Well, we got plenty of. We basically picked up 4-ish. You know, it's furniture or big keys can always stand to be missing a part or two. But Schulzer found the big key. Looks like it was check number 5 in the Stalfos room.
That's
yeah.
a pretty fast seed as well. You can easily tell that if you skip pod and just do what Schulzer did and just dip dungeons, you actually get a great time on this one.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I think, you know, roughly speaking, I think Buane at this point, I guess with all of the extra overworld stuff that ended up, well, yielding a Tupper Sword, was probably one Go Mode Turtle Rock behind at this point. And I guess just assuming Buane also does his traditional GT routes, he is also going to go right side first, so it's really not going to be too much of a difference there.
Yeah, like the thing is like I totally understand what Buane did. Like he didn't want to dip a pendant dungeon at that point because he done all the other light world checks, and he knew Ped was dead. So I kind of see what he was doing there, and he had just done like left side swamp, so doing all these light world checks made sense in the end. Schulzer not having half magic, but he's just spamming that fire rod through the gauntlet like a champ. Who needs half magic?
Yeah, that is certainly true. You know, I believe in this case because Schulzer is pulling out his silver arrows. Yeah, I mean, especially, you know, in MG, you really want a full magic bar just so you can, well, take down Lambos quickly. Silver arrows seem to kind of make it a little bit more trivial.
Yeah, like if you have silver arrows, just use them because you got like 19 shots right now. Like you can afford missing some later on Ganon as well. So
yeah, you know, given how many arrows we've got as prizes, we had what, green pendant turn in. We know we got, you know, back of Saha. We had so many arrows. The spike cave, we got a single arrow in that case, right? I think in this case, you know, people are probably willing to spend a couple more arrows.
Just shoot as many as you want. Like you got plenty enough to be able to beat the seed.
Yeah. All right. Looks like actually Buane is also going to skip the outside. Going to go directly here to the back of Turtle Rock. I'm just going to save him a little bit more time. I think the layout works out. That, you know, yeah, we did see a small key on Loser Bridge, so yeah, it's going to be a good time save for Buane. All right. Demonstrating. Yeah, he can also make it through these rooms. You're really going to be able to see some of the energy execution take over here on Buane's side.
I'm quite jealous of Buane's execution and movement. Not gonna lie.
Buane, among you know, a couple other people, probably you know, he's probably one of like the top 5 execution you know, heavy people. Like super impressive. Alright, meanwhile though, Schulzer kind of demonstrating, you know, a little bit of the firepower. You know, disadvantage with the Master Sword versus Temper Sword. You need a little bit more spins in this case to try to take them down. Not worried whatsoever though. Schulzer, you know, especially thanks to his, you know, routing and some of the areas and, you know, overworld especially that he skipped, is gonna put him in a very good time.
Yeah, he like Schulzer right now. I'm like, I don't know. Schulzer's just gonna have an insane score after this one. Like he can just be chilling for the next. What is it like? How many qualifiers do we have left now again?
So right, this is the 12th one out of 18. So yeah, Schulzer, he could just be sitting pretty for the remaining 6, or he could just play a 6th one, right? And then, you know, that's going to be the one he drops, right? Yeah. So Schulzer has very little to lose, but very little to lose, but a lot to gain.
And that was a very beautiful Aga 2 fight for Schulzer, while Buane just destroying Trinix with that.
You can tell potentially, you know, that Buane has a pretty good NMG time.
I feel like Buane made up a lot of time there. in a turret rock, so
Yes.
it's not that far. Even if it maybe looks like he's far behind Schulzer, he's not that far behind.
Oh yeah. I mean, so right, coupled with a temper sword certainly would help out, but I mean, just coupled with Buane's just raw execution skill, how comfortable he is at Turtle Rock, he certainly knows how to go fast.
I feel like he has done Turtle Rock a few times.
Yeah, Turtle Rock, GT. It doesn't really kind of matter what modes you end up playing. Ultimately, seemingly Turtle Rock and GT especially is always going to be kind of your end game, and Ganon, of course.
I like
so
this.
You get practice.
I like what Schulzer is doing right now. The King strat with the Samari strats here.
Yeah. Oh,
but this is
the bats are not. Oh my gosh, dude! How did Schultz? Oh my gosh! How is he not getting hits?
Schulzer, please.
Holy frick! This is some super close distance here. We would really like some social distancing here, between Schulzer and Ganon. Oh my gosh!
I don't know how he survived, but he did survive. So that is.
I mean, like it even looked like Schulzer was like literally like right next to Ganon's arm or something. But the game was a bit more lenient here in terms of hitboxes, and Schulzer is safely on a phase 3 already.
I would have loved to have a face cam on Schulzer right there. Is their facial expression? Oh, but okay.
Okay, yeah, Schulzer right now is not in one-hit KO mode. These bats only do 2 hearts of damage on green mail. Probably the biggest danger for Schulzer is falling off the edge.
Yeah, that would be very hurtful. But there we go. Ganon is exploding on Schulzer's screen. That means Schulzer has taken down Ganon, and it's just going to cross this little bridge, and he should be fine, right?
Yes. Yeah, get your G's out in chat for Schulzer. Alright, finishing looks like 1:19.28. I believe that is actually good for a 3rd place. Certainly 1st place overall on this restream, but a 3rd place finish overall. So very impressive showing.
GG's to our friend Schulzer here.
Yeah, alright, so topping out, the 1st place finisher was Aussie 101 with a 117.13, followed very closely by Zelga Desun, 117.51. So very impressive top finishes.
I've heard that Zelga Desun and Aussie is pretty good at this game, but
I've also heard that.
We're joined by Schulzer. GG's.
GG, Schulzer.
GG's.
So, how do you like those pennant dungeons?
I like pennant dungeons. I don't know what to say. Sadly, only the last one paid off, but at least one paid off.
Yeah, so you were really aggressive to the dungeons. You were like cleaning them out as fast as possible.
Yeah, I knew I had to go I had to take some of this because I have like 4 good scores, and with that laser I can only improve my scores if I rank highly, so I tried to gamble a little bit, especially in the late dungeon like Swamp Palace or Maya. So I just go modded them and hope to find the go mod there, and after that I was like, I've already done 2 pendants. I guess I can do the 3rd one as well. I already know that pet is garbage, and Ice Palace could be like a really fast dungeon if done so early. And then it ended up being my go mode, and I was happy.
So you have done all your 5 qualifiers now, and I'm pretty sure that you're really happy with your score, right?
Yeah. Basically as much as I can hope for. Playing the first one safe and then going a little bit more aggressive in the later ones. Worked out in the end.
Any thoughts about playing a 6th one to try and get like the number 1 spot for quals?
That I don't think that can happen for me anymore because my scores are pretty much 93-ish, so I don't have chances to get like the 1st place overall, and I also I probably don't have even time to join another qualifier, maybe 1, but even that is not sure. And with my score, I'm probably not gonna join anymore. I cannot lose points really with a 87 at this point, but I don't need to join anymore. Like I have to probably score like a 95 or more in the next one to actually improve my score, which is You cannot expect that to hit the god without an every seed.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, well, your route for this this seed certainly has done you quite well in terms of performance. Oh yeah, I was actually curious about the mushroom. When you were up in Dark Depth Mountain, did you just forget about it maybe, or just choose not to turn it in?
I forgot it first, and then remembered and was like, I guess that's not a progression, hopefully, and I never went back. I forgot about it, to be honest.
No worries. I mean, it certainly didn't burn you, unless you really wanted a heart piece out of the mushroom turn-in.
Probably wouldn't have even picked it up, so no.
Yeah, but Buane dodged that one like 2 or 3 times, that piece of art, so you would be fine without it.
I'm just sad I missed the tempered sword, but I guess it's somewhere out of the way as well.
Where did Buane find that temper? Oh yeah, purple chest is the one we found.
Yeah,
Buane
that's
found
right.
it.
Given how much overworld you had just basically chosen not to do. Oh no, Buane. So speaking of, so Buane unfortunately took a hit to the fire bats. You had quite the close Ganon fight yourself. How did you not get hit in phase 2?
I don't know. I got like pushed out from Ganon into the fire pits, and I somehow picked up the Somalia block to not get hit from a fire bat, and then was like, okay, fine, I survived. Let's use Cane to get blue Cane to get out of this mess, and it was close. The first hit was pretty bad in the first cycle. Like you shouldn't take that hit there, and then I'm more safe for the second circle. But you have to stay calm. You have to react what happens, but I certainly expected to die.
I think everyone was expecting the same result.
But yeah, Master Sword fights are one of the most Master Sword Ganon fights are one of the most fun fights for me in the game. Like especially with the Somalia sets, it can vary so much. You can have such an easy fight, and other times it feels impossible, and it just is a great feeling if you can do a good fight with Somalia. Just so much fun.
I mean, it certainly looks very efficient, and it made it look much easier than it probably actually is.
It took some practice to get it down, but it's not that hard. It's doable.
Alright, okay, so yeah, with that, Buane has also crossed the finish line to fight off Ganon 125.06.
All time for Buane. He pretty much did everything in this game except pod, so that's pretty insane how fast Buane is.
Yeah, I got bailed out by the boss not having an item, because I probably would have cleared pod fully, even with the pet knowledge. So I got bailed out a little bit there to have an even better score.
Yeah, alright, so looks like Buane finished in 8th place overall. Let's see, between, in this case, Aussie, Zelga, and Schulzer, of course, he finished 3rd place. We had Lin, Max Santos, Zero Rush, TJ, and then Buane, followed by Willow J. Bradley and Dapper Wormman to round out the top 10. Speaking of, GG's Buane.
Hey, everybody.
GG's.
Yo, GG Schulzer. Nice time on this one.
Same goes to you. You cleared a little bit more than I think. Just went ahead and skipped a bunch, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, it was tricky. Like, I usually like dungeons over overworld when you're in that one item spot, but like, I don't know, the late mirror meant a lot of the overworld spots were still pretty good. Early pendant pods always compromised, so like I'm thinking, even if it's there, probably behind a few people who go there early. So it was kind of like, clear out the rest of the overworld. A lot of spots are still decent because of the late mirror or pendant ice, and so, you can't get them all right. Still not a terrible time for all the overworld clearing, so can't be too upset.
And you also got that tempered sword as well from
Yeah,
Purple Chest.
I guess looking around, there's not a lot of tempered swords out there for these earlier finishers. So at least the silvers were free for everybody.
Point at probably in GT somewhere.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I mean, you guys both went left side first, and I guess good. Well, for Buane, it was definitely very good, right? Because he already had tempered at that point. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you were interested in opening up more chests. I mean, I certainly did not see you opening up anything extra to try and find a tempered sword.
Yeah, I'm usually fine with Master Sword and silvers. And it doesn't save that much time. It probably saves like a minute overall. I kinda almost screwed up my Cynex fight because the first shot didn't decide to not hit the head for some reason. Probably was standing a little bit too far to the left. But that could have gone wrong a little bit more. But it worked out in the end. I like playing with Master Sword. Low percent is always fun. So yeah.
Yes,
So,
certainly.
so how did you guys like those boots early on? I mean, Buane, you had to wait a little bit longer, but me and Clearmouse were talking about you usually have to wait around that minute mark in MG for boots, so you were probably fine.
Yeah, I mean they showed up, so you can't really complain. I know I
They
haven't
showed
played.
up, you're right.
I haven't played too many of them, too many of the quals, obviously, but I've been hearing lots of people finishing no boots, so no complaints here. Although, you know, yeah, I did have a kind of weird ordering in the light world and kind of got max punished for the getting to the boots a little bit later, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, in the end, I think the latest you can get it is after going to desert and getting fruit, and then you just send it in that way. Otherwise, you kind of have to do Link's house start to have a chance to get it, or bail out after the woods to get it early.
Yeah, I
Certainly was
I
easy
did
to
Sank
miss for
start
some
and did
time.
bail out of the woods, but then the hammer in Link's house threw me into Hyrule Castle, and I was trying to get a bomb drop to go to the back. I couldn't get that, so I bought bombs, went to Sashula, and then I'm like, well, I better do South Shore before Kakariko too. So I kind of owned myself there, getting to the boots pretty much as late as possible. But yes, you're right. At least I didn't go down to like desert and then finally end up like last locating boots or something like that.
Oh yeah, actually, so speaking of, like, once you guys got desert access, or at least like the glove from Zora, I think both of you went up the mountain versus desert. Any particular reason? Just more checks up there, or you wanted something better for desert?
I expected the hookshot to lock anything in the seat after the boots was locked behind hammer and powder, and like nothing was behind it. I was like, why the hell is the game putting hookshot there and not giving me anything from hookshot? This is garbage. But yeah, mainly because of hookshot.
I don't think either one is really that wrong. Like what at that point we had. Did we have Fire Rod at that point for a okay land mode fight? I don't remember.
What's in desert? I want to say.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, Fire Rod
Yeah.
is in desert, right? So we like maybe you're looking at like, do I want to hammer Landmo or something like that? So a lot of checks up. You're expecting a Moon Pearl up on Death Mountain. I think that's why you would go up there. But even if you don't find it, you're expecting to find something up there.
You got a red boomerang out of it.
Sweet, yeah.
That boomerang is better than the blue one, so I don't complain.
Even worse, like I'm really trying to find ways to push the envelope a little bit early, but like you're leaving Hera with no Moon Pearl, you have to go back and do Spiral Cave. Like you can't even try and cut that out there. So it was a little unfortunate trying to find moves to make in this seed, and just couldn't with the way I'd ended up going. So
Yeah, I'm usually doing Spider Cave early and hoping to get the Moon Pearl to finish up with Spy Cave. But I did it later, so can't complain. And then you get a single arrow, and then you complain again.
yep.
But overall, really fun seed, early boots. Pretty much forcing you to do Eastern Palace to get shovel, to get mids, and then it do some progression, and then it's just gamble for the last Omod item somewhere, and that obviously can set people up.
Yeah, I was pretty happy actually when I finally got to Dark World and did a map check, because we had so many items in the Light World, and obviously didn't want it to be one of those situations where you land in Dark World and you're missing like one item for go mode or something. So it was pretty nice that it was Swamp and T-Rock, both crystals, so that even though we had a lot of items starting out in Dark World, we still needed like 4 more items. So, you never want to be in that spot, especially in a qualifier with, 80 other people or however many people were in this race, where you've got the entire Dark World open and you're missing, mitts for go mode or something silly like that. So, a little sigh of relief when I got that map check landing in Dark World.
Especially with having 3 sisters in the light world.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of dreading that map check. Figured we were going to end up being like 1 or 2 items away from go mode, or get go mode early, but you're still looking for a sword or something silly like that. So, this seed is pretty interesting. You had a lot of good choices. There were a lot of things you could have realistically cut out, and just had the wrong order this time. So by the time I was getting to those decision points, I was like, well, there's not really that much left. Like, I'm finishing Thieves Town, and I'm saying to myself, I have to kind of finish and get the green pendant, because there's really not that much left if I'm not going to put my faith in Pod or something like that. So just, you maybe you play a little bit more conservative in these qualifiers, and maybe I'll put the pedal more to the metal next time or something. Just not and look, even with, I felt like I did so much extra, but the time is really, really not that bad. Like any 90 plus is, you're not going to complain about that. But these big races are fun. You kind of like to be closer to the top time wise. And by the way, don't try to calculate par time while you're fighting Ganon. That's a big no-no. That's just a big no-no. I'm like flipping back and forth, doing math in my head. Zach Galifianakis meme, and suddenly I take a hit, and I'm like, what do I do now? I'll slash him, and everything will be fine, right? So, it's only like 30-second loss, so who cares? But yeah, pay attention while the race is still happening.
Good words there, Buane. Pay attention. That's,
this is expert advice, right? This is the only kind of insight you have after playing, 1,000 rando seeds. You should probably pay attention to the screen.
Nah, that's too easy. We need Quern back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess we can't do blindfolded anymore, right?
Not for me.
Mm.
It was already done anyways. But yeah, fun race. Thank you for accommodating. Thank you all for attacking. Thanks for Buane having a rematch after losing a bunch in the ladder against you. Finally have my chance for the bench. But yeah.
You just gotta make sure you keep your confidence up, that's all. I'll lull you into a false sense of security.
I hope I'm seeing you later in the tournament for sure, but not that early, please.
The mind games are already started for the main tournament.
Oh!
Yeah. Still have 6 more qualifiers after this. But yeah, I guess barring any final thoughts from you guys?
Nah, just thanks to you both. Should be a fun one to listen to. You guys are great on the mic.
It was well, thanks. This was actually a really fun race to commentate for. As I can't speak for Alex, but at least like just observing, you and Schulzer both had very different approaches. Kind of as evidence we discussed, right? Schulzer basically went dungeon diving, and you went. I would say not necessarily you didn't dungeon dive, but you definitely did a lot more overworld. But I mean, even all the extra stuff you did, 8th place is still really pretty great time, or pretty great placement. But yeah, so thank you so much, Buane and Schulzer, for agreeing to be on this restream. Like I said, tons of fun. Thank you, our tracker, Sammy, a veteran tracker, has done a ton for us. Thank you so much. Always great to be able to have you around. Thanks, Kukula, for setting up the restream, and of course, Alex. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Should do it again sometime.
Yeah, of course. This was fun. Clear Mouse, definitely fun to do comms with you. First time doing comms with you, so I had to wait for a while, but
yeah, that's true.
Finally happened. But GG Star Runners and to the trackers and all that stuff, and I will let you do the final words there.
Sure. Yeah. Right. So I think we mentioned this before. There are 6 more qualifiers after this. Certainly keep an eye out for them. Tomorrow night is going to be qualifier number 13. It is Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 8:10 p.m. with a 10-minute delay. Channel will be somewhere on SpeedGaming TBD, and we're currently looking to get a second restream going, whether that's going to be on the SG channel or ALTTPR Randomizer. So definitely keep your eyes on the schedule for that. More qualifiers basically for the remainder of the week. Very much looking forward to basically more randos, and well, certainly you can see how great our runners today are going to be. Lots more action in the upcoming tournament. Until then, have a great rest of your day.